When a guy touches your leg with his leg, meaning. In crowded environments, our legs may unintentionally come into contact with others. However, in more intimate settings, such contact can carry a significant meaning or emotion. The legs, being somewhat distant from our line of sight and often hidden beneath tables or in dimly lit spaces, can add an element of mystery to these moments. When a man's leg brushes against yours, or vice versa, it can pique your curiosity. Does it signify something deeper, or was it merely accidental? Nevertheless, as with many nonverbal signals, interpreting the true intention behind such a simple gesture can be ambiguous. It's not always straightforward to discern the underlying message, and it's natural to be curious about its significance. That's why we will explore the various implications of a man making leg-to-leg contact with you. 1. Establishing a connection. The urge for physical connection is deeply ingrained in our human nature. Since the earliest days of humanity, individuals have endeavored to establish connections and experience a sense of belonging with one another. When a man delicately grazes your leg with his, it could be an attempt to forge a more profound bond or connection. This subtle gesture may serve as an expression of the natural tendency for people to gravitate toward those with whom they share an affinity. The act of leg contact, however understated it might appear, communicates, "I'm here, and I feel a connection with you." It doesn't always carry romantic or intimate connotations. For some, it's a means of gauging the level of comfort in their interactions with someone else. If the touch is well received, it can nurture a sense of closeness, while a rejection of it conveys clear boundaries. 2. Flirtatious intent. On occasion, when a man reaches out to touch your leg, it undeniably carries a flirtatious undertone. It can be a light-hearted means of dipping a toe in the waters to gauge whether there's any mutual romantic interest. In such scenarios, it is often accompanied by other flirtatious behaviors such as lingering eye contact, playful teasing, or banter. For many, engaging in leg touching within a flirtatious context represents an exhilarating, low-risk method of conveying, "I'm interested in you." It's intimate enough to grab attention, yet not so forward as to provoke substantial discomfort or awkwardness. 3. He wants to see your reaction. Curiosity holds a strong sway over human behavior. On occasion, a man might opt to touch your leg to assess your response, and this becomes particularly pertinent when he's uncertain about your sentiments toward him or is attempting to discern the dynamics of the situation. By making this subtle leg contact, he's taking a cautious step to gauge your reaction. It's akin to testing the waters before fully committing. He's seeking cues from your side. Will you promptly withdraw, or will you permit the touch to linger? Your response furnishes him with valuable insights about the position he occupies in your perception and could potentially influence his subsequent actions. 4. He wants to seduce you, if you're alone. The environment plays a significant role in this scenario. When you find yourself in a private setting with a man, a leg touch takes on a distinct significance and intention. In such a context, touching your leg may be a deliberate effort to increase the level of intimacy and kindle a sense of seduction. It's often followed by subsequent touches, perhaps on your thigh or in other more intimate areas. This bold move signifies a strong desire to shift the dynamics between the two of you into a more intimate realm. Naturally, the decision to embrace or rebuff this interest rests with you, contingent upon your own feelings toward him. 5. He's interested in you. It may appear self-evident, but on occasion, a touch serves as a straightforward method of conveying, "I'm attracted to you." It's one of the time-honored means of expressing romantic interest. When he touches your leg, it could be his way of expressing that he perceives you as more than a mere friend or acquaintance. For some individuals, demonstrating interest through actions is more comfortable than using words. It's a subtle means of relaying the message without risking too much. Should you respond positively to the touch, it could serve as a signal to him that you reciprocate that interest. 6. It's just accidental. Let's take a moment to be honest here. Sometimes, a touch is just that, a touch. It could be due to tight seating arrangements or simply him adjusting his posture without even realizing he's made contact. Accidental physical contact occurs quite frequently, particularly in confined spaces like theaters, bustling cafes, or during commutes. If it's an isolated incident and doesn't coincide with any other suggestive behavior, it's probably safe to attribute it to happenstance. After all, we've all experienced our fair share of inadvertent brushes, nudges, and bumps in crowded environments. It's easy to overanalyze, especially when attempting to interpret signals or understand someone's emotions. Sometimes, the most straightforward explanation is the correct one, and there may not be any deeper intention behind the touch. 7. Maybe he's just enjoying it. Physical contact, regardless of how subtle or inadvertent, can elicit a pleasant and comforting feeling. For certain individuals, this simple and brief connection can be gratifying, particularly if it involves the opposite sex. When a man touches your leg and allows it to linger, it could be because he's savoring that brief instant of contact, finding solace in the warmth or the sense of closeness it provides. However, it's important to note that enjoyment of such contact doesn't necessarily signify a deeper romantic or sexual interest. Just as some people relish platonic hugs or holding hands, the leg touch may be a sensory pleasure, a fleeting moment of connection. 8. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal signals, such as making contact with someone's leg using your own, can serve as potent means of communication. There are instances where words may prove inadequate or less suitable for the task at hand. For instance, in a noisy setting, touching can be a highly efficient method of capturing someone's attention without the need to raise one's voice across the table. What about when a guy presses his leg against yours? When a man purposefully positions his leg in contact with yours, it can convey a range of intentions. It may be an expression of intimacy or an effort to forge a connection. Leg touching can also serve as an indicator of comfort, and at times, even flirtation. In many cultures, the concept of personal space is highly valued, and such an action may be perceived as a deliberate encroachment upon that space, suggesting a degree of comfort or a desire to draw closer. Nonetheless, there's also the possibility that the contact is unintentional, especially in tight or crowded environments. In such instances, it's merely a consequence of circumstances and may not carry any deeper significance. Always take into account the context and surroundings in which the touch occurred to assess its meaning. What if our legs touched and he didn't move? If your leg makes contact with a guy's leg, and he remains in place without adjusting, it typically suggests a degree of deliberateness. One possible explanation could be his comfort in your presence, feeling no need to reposition himself. This can signify a level of intimacy or trust. On the other hand, some men might choose not to move as a means of assessing your response, using the touch as a subtle way to convey interest and evaluate your receptiveness to their advances. Nonetheless, it's crucial to bear in mind that, as mentioned earlier, at times, such contact is entirely unintentional. He might not have even noticed it, or perhaps it didn't bother him enough to warrant an adjustment. The context is a vital factor, and if the touch was brief and occurred in a crowded environment, it might not carry any deeper connotations. How do you respond when a guy touches your leg with his leg? How you react when a guy touches your leg with his hinges upon your emotions and the level of ease you experience within that specific situation. Should you find yourself at ease with the contact, and perhaps even appreciate it, you can simply leave it be or potentially respond by permitting the touch to persist. This may function as a silent recognition of the connection that exists between the two of you. Conversely, if you experience discomfort or uncertainty regarding the touch, it's absolutely acceptable to gently shift your leg away. If the need arises, you can also choose to address the situation verbally. You might say something like, "Have you noticed our legs touching?" as a means to bring it to his attention and evaluate his response. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any new videos. Let us know your thoughts about this video in the comments section down below, and feel free to stay and enjoy it until the end. Also make sure to check out our next highlighted video, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.